Hello guys, and welcome to episode 65 of my Empire Total War campaign playing as Great Britain on very hard difficulty. Today we are going to be reinforcing Hanover, which has forced back so many attacks so far. It's absolutely insane. We will be looking to maybe try and get peace though with Prussia. That would be fantastic, so let's try and do that. Because we did just beat like a bunch of their armies, and although I do have a good amount of income, I kind of just want to consolidate elsewhere rather than continue this stupid war. So that's fine. We could also maybe go for Sweden as well. Request peace. Nice. Okay, so we've got peace with Sweden and with Prussia, which is perfect because we are now no longer being attacked at our ports either. And that opens up the possibility of trade. The one thing that it does do, however, is kind of stop us from raiding so much. So we're not making as much from doing so. But that is okay, because we can then go and send a bunch of these dudes down to the Ivory Coast, and that's going to be job done. So that's what we're going to do. Let me get this navy that's fresh out of port. I'm going to put all the galleons that I have into it, and that's going to max it out, which is great. So this fleet should be good enough now to head to the Ivory Coast and just set up some trade there. And we'll make an absolute butt ton of money. Right, meanwhile, I might keep these guys raiding here, and we'll have these guys go into port. Yeah, so we'll still get 10,000, and we're gonna fix up these fleets, or these ships. That's great. Then what we can do is sort of sort it out so we have all of the trade ships in one, and then all of my sort of 4th rates and 5th rates in the other. I could also start recruiting myself a 2nd rate. That might be a good idea. Maybe get a few 2nd rates on the go, because their firepower is pretty significant. It says that the firepower is lower than the 2nd rate, but then when you see that the 2nd rate has 86 guns, you realize that's probably not the case. So yeah, we'll probably get a few 2nd rates going. However, they are very expensive, aren't they? 2,300. Okay, we're probably better off spending the cash elsewhere first of all. let's do that first. All right, let's fix up this lot. Not sure if it affects happiness, but we'll do it anyway. It looks like Portugal is all fixed up now. What about Madrid? Madrid's all good. We do have some enemy missionaries here, but that is absolutely fine. Anywhere else we need to build that we haven't already? Don't think so. But one thing we can do now that we're not at war with Sweden is get these ships down to this navy as well. That's pretty important. I might also just attack the trade while we're here. That might make us a little bit more. Just making us less. Why is that? That's a bit weird. If I stop that, does it make us more? It does, yeah. Okay. Weird. Anyway, if we go to our lists, we will start to go through this. The first thing we need to do is bring a lot of these men to Hanover. So we'll start with 6 of these men. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to merge these cannons. We'll get the one that's like damaged out of there and replace them with these 2. That is fine. Then what we need to do is spend cash on replenishing all this lot. Although it might be worth moving them all out like these two, for example, they will continue to replenish.
Any further orders?
We will replace those with those guys.
Awaiting
Yeah, that's
further
probably
orders.
better. Get those guys out of there as well.
Forward.
The rest
Any
that are near
further
100
orders?
men, that should be fine. But that at least allows me to replenish some really high experience units. We might also recruit some new troops to help defend. Maybe just get one line infantry there for now. But what I'm going to do before we commit to that is look elsewhere. We did manage to clean up
Ready and awaiting
the
orders.
army of the Pueblo that was here. So that's now left New Orleans open. And Villa de Bexar here in Texas. We can go and take that. That should destroy the Pueblo. It will then be worth sending an army over to Santa Fe.
Lord.
So that is fine. Right, can we maybe replenish these guys? That might be a good shout. We also need to replenish this army at some point, but since we already destroyed the Pueblo, we need to take advantage of that as quickly as possible, really. So let's continue through our lists. Manuel is not going anywhere, and he doesn't need to because we're not at war with Russia or Sweden. What about Carl Madison? We are still at war with Spain, aren't we? Yeah, it's probably worth recruiting into his army. If we fix this up, what will we get? We'll be able to recruit grenadiers. Currently we cannot because the building is damaged. Let's fix up these buildings. We'll get ourselves some more men. I think I'm actually going to go for some native musketmen auxiliary because they do have the extra range, which will actually be quite helpful. And then Benedict Thorne, who once he's replenished will be able to go and try and take Algiers. Right now for fleets, we've got this fleet in the Caribbean Sea. We decided to stop port here, but I think what we're going to do is go down here, weren't we? Oh, never mind, the agents weren't aboard. Yeah, we were going to go down here and have the agents. Wow, the priest can just go into here to convert this to Protestant, which is fine. And then we will have our rakes go and see what's going on in Bogota and elsewhere. Right, so that is a lot of our agents moved. And I think that is everything done. We do have 1,900 left to spend. But I don't think it's enough to really make a difference anywhere. So I'm going to move on to the next turn.
I shall rest.
Spain's in a really interesting position right now because they don't really have any land left in Europe. I think they still have their navy somewhere though. One thing that I might look to do is after we take Algiers is pick up our army in the Mediterranean and shift them to Cagliari, which is the second Spanish capital. And I once heard someone tell me that if you destroy a nation's capital twice, they basically get destroyed. I might try that. But fortunately we are not being declared on, and I don't think that we really have to worry about much else. The Inuit have a lot of men. But one thing I could do, since I'm blocking with the gentlemen, is maybe get some forces and just go and take their main settlement. Oh, would you look at that? Denmark attacked Sweden. Still at war, apparently. Alright, technological advance. That's great. A successful mission by Samuel Boyce. Sort of my guys. Alright, time to kill off another army, I think. Yeah, this should be an interesting fight. Let's go ahead and fight this on the battle map. They really are pulling armies out their arse though, aren't they? Pretty incredible. Yeah, we destroyed like a full stack and they already have like another half stack. This like attritional war is just disgusting. But if we take that settlement and we hold it whilst we replenish, then we should just be able to move on and wipe them out. The main thing about Total War games is it's just, you need to kill like one nation at a time, because in very hard difficulty, for each nation you destroy, you basically lose the threat of like 3 stacks. Because normally like one settlement, even if an AI is on one settlement, they'll be able to support like 3 full stacks. So just making sure that each nation is dead individually is very important. So that's what we're going to be trying to do in the Americas. As for all these guys, well, I'm pretty sure we're fine as we are, right? Like that cannon's fine where it is. I've got cannons on the right flank. They're covered by Rogers Rangers. They're also covered by... We could even use this hill, actually. Let's do that. Probably a really good idea. Yeah, then Rogers Rangers can use the bit next to it. That's if they want to come over here. And I think I might just have all my cav kind of defend it. I might get some grenadiers over here, maybe. Although there are some like in the middle of the line. Might be best to get like pikemen and the left flank over to the right. Yeah, let's do that. I'll have these pikemen just hold the line like so. And then these guys can hold the right flank. I don't know where I want to put this cannon. Maybe like so, I don't know. It kind of looks like a bad position, but we should be alright. Tempted to move all this lot over as well. If we make them a group, might be able to swing them over a bit. Is that any closer? I don't think it is. That's fine. We'll just do that. Speed it up. I think they're going to come towards us. We are shooting at them. Going to have these guys sort of rotate on the flanks. They seem to be trying to run across my lines. Right into the grenadiers. Why are they like specifically charging the grenadiers? They did do quite a lot of damage with that charge, but unfortunately for them, in prolonged melee combat, we are certainly better. Nice. Cannon shot's actually doing work. Come on, cannons, hit your mark. Never mind, you don't have to because they just charged into us again and died. I like watching the leader of the regiment just whip out his pistol and have a go. Especially when those like pistols were notoriously inaccurate. But we may as well try and shoot, I think, at their artillery because we don't really have any other good targets. My middle line's probably the weakest because these are colonial militia and they need to be spread out more, really, in order to be like fully powerful. I might do this. Nice, we killed the general. Which is good. Let's get in on that flank. We can't actually do fire in advance, which is actually a pretty cool thing to watch. Probably not the best against the natives because they are actually decent in melee, but against like other line infantry, you can kind of fire in advance to the point where you're close enough to get a charge in, and it works out really nicely. Like I might do it just to show you guys. Oh, they spread out in order to do it. I think it's because they have to walk past each other. I'm surprised these grenadiers didn't hit more men then. But yeah, the front line will fire, and then the second line walks in front of them, fires, and then the second line moves in front again and fires. Pretty sure that's how it works. Yeah. Basically, if you have like multiple ranks, it works really well. But here it's just kind of pointless. Yeah, if you have like deeper ranks of men, you can basically keep the men firing constantly. It's really, really strong. Especially like say, so if we go to like a 4-rank line, for example, and we have them on fire in advance. I'll spread out a bit. Let me just get these guys out of the way. You'll see that each line just constantly fires. Hopefully we'll get to see it in action. But the more lines the better really with fire in advance. There goes the first line. Second line will move forwards. They'll fire. So you can see this other line's already reloading. Now the next line comes forwards. They'll fire. Then the last line will move forwards. And it looks like this line's just finished reloading. So this line will fire. And then the next line will run forwards again. In theory, if they don't reform. But yeah, you can see how it works. And it's really, really cool. It would be nice if you could do it like in a static sort of way. Kind of like fire by rank. But just have like 4 ranks do it. That would be perfect. Oh, we are actually engaged on this left side. Let's get my grenadiers in there. And we'll speed up this game because it's going to take forever. We just got to kill off their native artillery, and it's pretty much job done. Probably took more losses than I need to demonstrating all of that, but I think it's really, really cool. I don't think they have canister, so we can probably go quite thick ranks here as we charge. Lovely. Job done. End the battle there for the heroic victory. I can't remember if Empire tells you all of your statistics at the end of the game, but if it does, it'd be interesting to see how many heroic victories we got.
We can't do that, sir.
Right, we can't move any further, but we can hit New Orleans next,
Your orders, Your Majesty.
in the next turn. What I am going to do is merge these guys. I was hoping to do it the other way. That's awkward. No, I don't want to do that. I was hoping to get these 74 men in here.
Yes, my lord.
Guess what I could do
Ready and awaiting
is maybe
orders.
just have them come over. I'll actually maybe merge them with these guys
Your Majesty.
and then put them back in.
Forward!
Yeah, that's fine.
March!
Alright, Wesley converts. The activities of a non-conforming minister are attracting attention in British society. John Wesley is the son of a minister in the Church of England and followed in his father's footsteps by attending Christ Church College in Oxford. In the course of time, he was ordained as a deacon and served in his father's church before returning to Oxford to continue his studies. Wesley became a member of a religious group known as the Holy Club, whose members came to be known as Methodists, before travelling to America to minister to both colonists and natives. Although unhappy abroad, there was a positive aspect in that Wesley came into contact with the Moravian reformist sect, and he pursued this connection upon his return to England. Wesley's own ideas about religious reform gradually took shape, and he has commented that whilst listening to Moravian sermons, I felt my heart strangely warmed. With his faith redoubled, Wesley has begun to preach sermons on salvation and grace, often outdoors to huge crowds, as conforming churches closed their doors to him. Okay, new town emerges at New York. Let's go ahead and build that up. Saragota. A weaver's workshop there. Trait gained. Extra happiness. And we just finished a lot of buildings actually, which means our income should have gone up. Right, this navy is going to the Ivory Coast.
Ship's orders.
Right, meanwhile, this navy is now good to go. So,
Aye, sir. Ship,
what we're going to do is get all of these navies together.
station, battle station, fleet.
We're going to switch around a lot of these dudes. Like so. This is our standard navy. And this is all of our galleons and such.
Ready and wait. Officer on deck.
And those galleons can then go towards the Ivory Coast as well. And then we will have these guys join here. And we will continue to raid. I think we're already raiding, aren't we?
Ship shape and Bristol fashion.
Yeah, and that's going to give us 12,000 in the next turn. Really nice. Okay, so not only that, but we'll have our own income coming in soon on top of that, which is going to make our income go to about 20k again. But this is nice because we're no longer under attack, and these guys will replenish in time. Right, then what I'm going to do is maybe send these guys over to Munich. I think it's important that we maybe reinforce this garrison, because then what we can do in the future is just go straight through and attack Vienna, which will be really, really good. could be the target in the future as well. One thing we do need to do is fix up these buildings. That's going to cost a hell of a lot, but it's worth doing since we're at peace. Anywhere else? Don't think so. But yeah, we'll have these guys move to Munich. I'm tempted to recruit some more men at Munich, but I'm not entirely sure. I think we're going to go through the lists first. So Leopold Alfrey, or Alfrey, he's really done well for us. Let's see. I don't need to ignore a lot of the smaller armies where I can. Benedict Thorne's pretty much good to go. Let's bring him out of the settlement. We do actually need to build roads here. Oh, we already have roads. Are they right by the shore? Yeah, I can barely see them. Is that okay if we leave? It is. Perfect. Time to go. Oh, I was going to say go and attack Algiers, but... we cannot. Alright then. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stay in Tangiers. We're going to build up the army here. The reason we're going to do that, actually we're not going to do it here, we're going to do it at Gibraltar. Actually maybe not even Gibraltar because we can barely recruit anything. That would be the best place. Maybe Portugal? Depends what we want. I think Portugal gives us the most choice. So let's head over to Portugal. And then what we're going to do, yeah, recruit ourselves a full army. One that can then jump on the boats and get taken to Cagliari. And since we have quite a large navy here, this should be enough for us to get to Cagliari unscathed. On top of that, I could also start recruiting myself some bigger ships. I might actually get a bomb catch because I think it'll be really fun to watch that fire. Although it wouldn't really be good at taking out other ships, I don't think. They're relatively inaccurate as far as I remember. They're good for sort of assaulting. I guess, I mean, in this game, right, you're only ever fighting against other ships, but bomb catches in real life or used against fortifications. I think a second rate will do. We'll put some money towards that. Have it as the pride of our fleet. Right, meanwhile down here, since we fixed up the buildings, we can recruit ourselves some more men. So we'll grab ourselves some rangers. I'll grab some colonial line infantry as well. And that will be fine. Yeah. We're just building up this so that we can go and attack Bogota. We will have information on that soon enough. Until then, we're just going to continue to replenish our forces. Have we moved our men in America? We have. Alright, this guy, he is carrying on to Chicasa. So he can jump in there and start converting the population. He already is converting the population. We'll just make sure to fully convert them. Everywhere else we're already fully converted, more or less. Right, now we need to go to fleets, although I think we moved the majority of them. It's just a matter of whether or not we want to move this fleet. I don't think we do. However, one thing that we could do is maybe go and take back San Jose whilst we're waiting for information on Bogota. Been a pretty slow episode so far though, nothing huge going on. Let's move on to the next turn. Ooh, the Spanish Navy took a chunk there from the pirates. Poland and Lithuania, are they going to come towards us? Not entirely sure. And it looks like Sweden hasn't even fixed up those buildings yet after we raided them. I think we made them quite poor from raiding their trade. Sweden demolishing that Danish navy. We're going to wait and see how much more ground the Maratha Confederacy make. They are chewing through the Ottomans. Almost up into Hungary. That's pretty scary. Pirates are attacking our ports. That's rather annoying. We did just get a new priest on Cuba again, which is really annoying. New model bayonet drill though has been complete. Now we're going to be looking for reorganized procurement. And a successful mission. All of these guys were successful, that's fine. Agent recruited we already looked at. The Theatrical Licensing Act. Due to the current spate of satirical plays that seek to stir seditious anti-government thoughts in the minds of ordinary theatre goers, a law has been passed giving the power of censorship to the Lord Chamberlain. All new works must gain the approval of his office before they are staged. As a result of this draconian development, many authors are moving away from theatre and returning to novels, where their work will not be censored. Alright, and with that, it has unfortunately been my time, so I am going to have to leave it here. In the next episode, we will be looking at maybe attacking Spain at Cagliari after building up the forces at Lisbon. That really depends on any battles we bump into though, because they can severely slow down episodes, especially if we have like a big battle at New Orleans for example. But that will probably be the first move we make. Either way, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.